Oh, yeah, me too. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Look who's here, Linda G.
Hi, everyone.
I just want to welcome Linda. And we're really happy you're here today, Linda.
Thank
Um,
you.
excuse me. We're just talking about both having the yuck stuff. So here it comes up. Linda has the rare gift for talking about deep, complex, and sometimes heavy topics with humor, warmth, and a lot of heart. She brings clarity and insight, but also laughter, reminding us that serious inner work does not have to feel so serious. So I'm excited for you to be here and experience her wisdom and her wit because you keep everybody calm on YouTube, and that's a huge
I
job.
think, well, the guides told me that was my purpose, and I didn't know what the heck I was going to do.
Well, it's just amazing how that's worked out. And I give my hand to you and my heart to you on that, Linda, because it's a huge job. You get so many people in there now, and it's just grown and grown.
I
But I
know.
know you're like the first person I think that I watched on YouTube.
Oh, you're kidding. Well,
No?
back in 2018, he said, you're going to do a YouTube video. I said, well, I don't want to get up and brush my hair. And he said, Linda, you will help calm them down.
Were you doing comedy then?
No, I was out of the comedy.
Were you?
I did comedy as a bucket list. I never wanted to be a professional comedian. I did comedy as a bucket list because I always thought I was funny.
You are, though.
So I talked about having cancer and, the younger crowds thinking I was funny that would shock me. But long story short, a comedian who's now deceased, Kabir Singh, just dragged me to all these places a lot of comedians only dream about. I was at Tommy T's. I was at the Hollywood venue, down in Southern California. He took a whole bunch of Tommy T's, the Punchline. There's another one in the city. I can see it, but I can't. A bunch of famous venues that people only dream about. And I performed there, and of course, always a big crowd when I was there, so they could use the money, But we had the best time. It was wonderful.
I love that. Are your guides funny?
No, not at all.
They're very serious.
The guy that talks to me he doesn't give me a break. I may say something I think is funny, and it's dead silence.
I think I saw you doing that when you were doing your 2026 predictions, and you cracked a joke, and then you said they don't think that's funny.
Yeah, but they're just serious. So what part of the realm are they? Because the higher you go in the realm, sometimes you get very lighthearted. Jesus is very funny. He's got a great sense of humor,
right?
But they are just When I was real young, I used to feel a woman around me, and now it's this man, and he's serious, and he's making sure that I do my duty.
Wow, he feels very ethereal.
Yeah, he's strong, but he's kind too. I mean, I'm not afraid of him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So take us to the moment when your guides told you about going on YouTube.
Well, I had that moment where I was handing my whole soul and body over to the realm because I was begging for my life with cancer. I didn't want to die because I had those young kids, and then the man said, what are you doing? There's no such thing as death, which I do as a hospice nurse and a nurse. I've seen thousands of people die. And it caused me an embarrassment, like, ooh, yeah, you're right. What am I doing? Then I handed my whole body and self over to the realm. I said, into thy hands, I commence my spirit. If I need to die, I'll die. I know you, because what I was worried about was my sons.
Yeah.
They were still young. I said, I know that everything will work out, that you've got their backs. Thank you so much. And I literally handed it over. And in that moment, something happened to me. And then that's when one day I was minding my own beeswax in my bedroom, and he said to me, he talked to me in my right ear, and he said, "You're going to do a YouTube video." I had done a couple with what's her name?
Champagne.
Christina.
Yeah.
Or no, her name's not Christina. What am I doing? Third Eye Champagne.
Yeah.
Kristen,
I can't remember her name either. I like her.
Kristen Langston.
Yeah.
And she's a doll. Anyway, so I said, you know, I would never do this because it was a lot of work. She would put a lot of work on it. She was very good at it. I'm too doggone lazy. So he said, "You're going to do a YouTube video." And I said, "Oh, geez, I don't want to get up and brush my hair." And he said, "Linda, you will help calm them down."
Yeah.
But the third thing he said was, how did he say it? If your ego gets involved, we will remove your gift. Which was interesting because, you know, back in my younger days, I had a pretty good ego.
Well, isn't that it though? I mean, so many people that get in this business, I feel like it can go either way. You can get into your ego and get very judgmental. And
always talks about that. People who think they're walking with the masters, you know.
Yeah.
And it's always their way. If you follow me and you'll be doing right. And he says, and then they don't understand why they're not quite getting it yet, you know.
Yeah. So when you talk to your guides, I know you were saying that you hear them, the one in particular in your right ear.
The male.
Yeah. Do you see them? Like, what clairs do you use, or is it all telepathy? Do you just know them?
Telepathy.
Yeah.
When I do future events, I will get flashes of visions where I'll see, you know, like the military walking into the White House, stuff like that. I'll actually see that.
Yeah. It's really interesting to watch you when you're doing those readings.
Yeah. It just comes upon me. And I'll be reading with someone else, and suddenly I hear, you know, bullets going. I'll hear something, and I'm like, oh my God. So it's something.
Wow.
But, you know, I have to go with the flow. I can't interpret it too much.
Yeah. You just bring it forward.
Yeah.
When you say your mission is to keep people calm, what does calm mean on a soul level?
To get out of their own way. You know, I was watching some show and they were talking about how you can connect to the realm, and you have to stand here and you have to do this and you have to think this. And that's not what they teach me. They teach me just be present, just like Eckhart Tolle with the Tao. Be present. Being present can connect you to a universe and realm far greater than this. And it takes some work to be present because, as you know, as human beings, we love to think. So when I started practicing Eckhart Tolle, the New Earth, and doing the 3 breaths a day, I noticed a switch happening in my life. So there's nothing out there. You know, we're always reaching out there. I want to reach the highest realm. I want to be in grace with this and that. There's nothing out there. It's all in here. Be present, be now. And the rest just falls into place.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just watching and listening and getting into your subtle senses.
I did ask them, if you want people to be present, why do you give me the gift of prophecy? What's the purpose of that? Why do we have to look into the future? Why do we subject ourselves? Why do we need somebody to hit it right on? You know, and they said that really you don't, it's not part of, you know, Jesus didn't even want to prophesize. He didn't want to create those miracles, but what he did it for was so people would stand down. They were for a moment think, is this for real? So when I had prophecies that come true, you know, you're never perfect, but when I hit prophecies that come true, it helps people to think, aha, maybe she's got something there. Like the COVID that I predicted a year before it happened. Not me, they predicted it.
Yeah. That was a number, man. That was such a total reset for the entire world.
Wasn't it? And little did we realize the heartache we were going to have to go through.
Yeah.
Still. And then we got that Robert Kennedy in there, who's one of the worst people.
Yeah.
I know people are sick and tired, but if I could, it's almost even more practice to energetically reel it back in and know, I know people hate hearing this too shall pass, but no, this is all going to change. It's coming up. When he got in there, I told people, even though I was wrong, I thought she won. And the guide said, man has free will. And his people need to see who he really is, which is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But I also know that he's going to go down big time. Big time. Netanyahu and Putin.
Yeah.
Big time.
I agree with you. I feel like there's going to be this chaos and it's going to kind of collapse. Boom. I don't know how.
Yeah, but when he got in there, I said he's not going to serve the whole 4 years. I always knew that.
I remember. Yeah. Yeah.
He's not going to serve the whole 4 years. This year is a good year. The first half is bad and the second half is bliss.
Well, I'm ready.
And isn't it interesting how the files don't really seem to, a lot of people are angry and they want to see those files, but the horrible things that he did and his people did, and people aren't pushing down the doors and taking them out. It's amazing how he can hurt people and nobody says anything.
Do you think that it's an energy that he has around him that he controls or somebody else controls? Or, not a conspiracy theorist here, but it feels like there's this energy.
Well, it's part of the Netanyahu, that whole organization. You remember what they said, and I totally believe it. I could be wrong, but they said John F. Kennedy told them something that they didn't like, and then when you turned around, he was assassinated. The other thing is they have goods on everybody. They blackmail everybody. They will do things to create. I think Netanyahu was part of that October 7th. And that's why the people of Israel want to know what exactly happened, because now the word is he knew and he wanted it to happen. He made everybody stand down while this event was taking place, where all these people, he sacrificed his own people to get what he wanted.
Yeah, that was just so very, very sad for everybody involved, and for the whole world to watch. I'll never forget seeing the newsreels from that.
It was terrible.
In my mind's eye, yeah. And I remember, you're right, that we had some sort of information from the U.S. that we had sent them some intel, and it was gone. It was we heard about it a little bit, and then that was the end.
Then you got that president in there that can't keep his mouth shut and gives away and charges for nuclear intel. He'll give it to someone for a price.
He's got a lot of new planes and a lot of little things going on, doesn't he? A lot of people buying property right around the White House this year. So what rules or boundaries do your guides insist you follow? I know about not going into ego, but do they have any other rules? It's
hard not to go into, because it's part of your line to survive.
Yeah.
You kind of need ego, fight or flight kind of situation in order to survive. So, if you want a full case of ego, just look at Trump. That's about as ego driven. This guy just thinks he's all that in a cup of tea. And we want to just curse the ground he walks on. And remember, when I was first reading on him, I was just calling him every name in the book. And my guide said, knock it off, because you focusing on hating him doesn't hurt him, it hurts you. So you have to, the best you can, ask for justice to the universe, but don't, create that kind of chaos. because they knew I had people following me. And let me tell you, a lot of people really got mad at me for saying we got to stop tearing him down. They were like, "How dare you?"
I bet.
He's a heathen, and they are right. Of course, he's a heathen.
Yeah. Do you feel like with all this chaos energy going on right now that it creates more energy also to go the other way, like for manifesting or for world peace? Like things are falling apart, but there's energy there because of that chaos to be had to work with.
He's getting ready to do something really stupid, like maybe try to hit Greenland. And the minute that happens, I see him being removed from office.
Oh.
I thought for sure he would hit Iran by this weekend. Now he's coming back and saying that Iran says they're not killing the people anymore. That's them saying it, right?
Yeah.
They also said that they were going to assassinate Trump today. Today's the day. Hello, TikTok. Nothing's happened so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
But breathe as best as you can when you find yourself like watching these poor people being hurt. Know that as we put out that fantastic golden light around this, it just manifests. He can't live in that light. He can't live in it. He can't exist with that kind of anger.
Right? That fear won't survive in love, will it?
Nope.
Yeah. It's interesting how that works and how he's kind of, feeding him with fear, like you said, it is feeding him. I love that you're doing the prayers. You've been doing the prayers for several years.
I'm doing them today too. Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter types them up for me.
Aw. Well, that's just a big ball of fun. So anybody that hasn't been there, I'm sure y'all have, but it's a beautiful group that gets together. What areas of life do you feel most activated for 2026?
What areas of life?
Yeah, or of the world, or like not just events, but like, do you feel like, say the healing of the earth and that, the plastics and things like that, or
that's going to we're going to have, once this Trump thing is over with and we get some good people in play within our government and with the rest of the world's help, there's going to be a lot of wonderful things happening.
Yeah.
Good things happening.
I love that. Do you think AI is going to have a big part of that?
It will have some effect, but AI is not going to be as big as a deal as people thought.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I know that. I just know that.
I think that it might be really hyped up right now.
Like I mean, it's all right, but I don't know. I just don't feel it's good to go for information. What happened here? What does this mean? But when Reiners were killed,
yeah,
I went to the AI and said, "Is it true?" And they said, "No, he's alive and well." And no, he wasn't. The news cameras were down there. It wasn't true, but that's how they have to have input from the humans to get to be current.
Yeah, it's not all that yet.
Yeah.
So what do you see people being really worried about right now? Besides
about going to war, about Trump irritating people, about doing things like taking over a different country. I don't know. I really feel Greenland is a huge mistake on his part. I really feel like if he dare, all the military that's there now, and the other NATO countries have said, you go to Greenland and we will shut down all your military bases. They're not joking. But, he lives in this 2x4 with these people saying, "Hail, Master." They can't tell you what they're going to do. Oh, yeah, they can.
Yeah. It feels like Greenland's like a big puppy dog, and attacking a big puppy dog like that, it's like they're not doing anything to anybody. They haven't ever, I don't know if they've even ever been at war.
It's our guys, boots on the ground, or does something that they hit back and take out American soldiers, America's not going to go for that. They'll be mad at Trump because you really have, and he won't get permission from Congress. Trust me.
Yeah.
It'll be huge, immediate. We need to get rid of him. So I would be surprised if they do hit Greenland, because I feel the military the top brass may actually stop him and go to Congress and say, impeach him now. He wants us to hit Greenland.
Do you feel like we're going to know about that, or is that going to be on the?
It feels bada bing, bada boom. It feels sudden, and I thought for sure he was going to hit Iran, but Iran saying they're not killing people, even if they are, gives him, he was a little worried about Iran because Saudi Arabia is mad at Trump. They said, you can't go through our airspace. Saudi Arabia is his backup plan, and Russia's mad at him about it. So he's looking for a way out.
I always felt like maybe he would get an offer to retire, like, an out somehow, but I don't know anymore.
Oh no, he loves the power. Are you kidding? He can't get enough of it.
Yeah. So sad. So, how do you feel like we can prepare for the changes that are going to happen in the next 6 months?
How do I feel what?
How we can prepare for the next 6 months, the changes that are going to be happening. Like people are talking about buying extra food and money and taking care of our families.
I don't see a food shortage here in the United States.
Yeah.
I don't see that, but I do see people not being able to afford, but I see a lot of people giving to the food banks, so it helps people be able to eat. Everybody's dropping their Obamacare right now. They can't afford it. So when people can't afford for a sick child to be seen and barely get nourishing food, although they'll still be able to get some food, this is when it's going to be terrible, just awful.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care. He's looking at his big, beautiful ballroom. He tried to get all those, what do you call those? Texaco and all those to come into Venezuela. They said, hell no. We don't want to spend money on that. It's a lost cause. What's going to happen with him is that he's going to be taken out by generals. That's what I get. I could be wrong. He may try to find an exit and flee the United States. But I see that little peon, Steve Miller, having to walk the plank. It's a beautiful thing, you guys.
So it's interesting how all these changes are coming up right now. Do you feel like the USD is going to take a hit? Like sometimes I feel like the USD is going to go by the wayside and instead there'll be a coin. Do you see anything like that?
What's the USD?
US dollar.
Oh, yeah, it's already taken a hit. It's going to hang in there, though. Let me see what happens. So today, the stock market rallied. Yeah, it rallied. Not by a lot, but enough. Because when he started talking about, arresting the guy in charge of our money and all that, people got upset. He just thinks he can run the world. I swear to God.
Do you think
he wants battleships built, all being named after him? The man who could not serve in any military because of his foot thing.
I don't see that lasting. Do you? The minute he's out of office.
Anything with his name. Watch that Kennedy Center. That thing will be ripped off faster, and everybody's canceling the Kennedy Center. Everyone.
Yeah. I saw that the opera was out of there already. So, yeah.
Everybody's leaving.
Well, so do you feel like there's going to be any Earth events coming up?
I always see some sort of slides, mudslides. I see another volcano going off, but it's not Armageddon, but I see one going off. And there's a lot of them around in Indonesia and Hawaii and stuff. And I see winds like we have not experienced. I see winds and I see freezing cold temperatures all the way up into Canada. Freezing, like colder than we've ever experienced, where the power's got down because, you know, all the lines have cracked. I see big time freezing cold incidents taking place.
So they're trying to push through a lot of not power lines, but pipelines through indigenous lands, going into Canada, and I think up the West Coast.
What do you mean, pipelines for what?
For oil.
Oh, yeah, they've been doing that for a while.
Yeah. Do you see it?
We're eventually going to come out of oil.
Right? Now, and it's such a big deal with Venezuela now. Everybody's talking about, oh, Exxon went way up and things like that. But I feel like that having done that, I mean, yeah.
What people are going to notice, because we're going to have some great power outages coming up. Could be solar flares or whatever. But when these power outages come up, it's going to be hard. You can't even pump gas in a car. You can't have an electrical car. You can't get to the bank. It's going to be very uncomfortable without any power. So people will really notice that, you know, it doesn't matter if you have gas or electric. It still ain't going to work that great.
Yeah, I see that too. I see that there's going to be, well, I'm seeing a lot of water events and wind events too. But yeah. I see that there's going to be, we're going to need community, like know your neighbor.
Yes.
Know the people down the street.
You know, Christy Nome, who works for Corey Levin, get whatever his name is, in a taxpayer paid home where she sleeps with him. They said she has stolen more money out of our fund for disasters. Like if we get a good disaster, we got nothing because of what she did by pushing it into her people's. So I don't know why I just got this hit, but I'm feeling her leg. I don't know if she gets a blood clot in the back of the leg, but I see sort of an emergency because of her leg.
Wow.
She might be getting injections that are going to follow in her bloodstream that's going to cause some issues, is what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah, when you said that, I could feel the left leg.
Yeah, and also I do feel her standing before a judge. She's going to try to explain things and it will not go through.
Wow.
Thank God we got the justice system we have.
Mm. Yeah, you think it's going to survive everything? Like, do you think it's going to?
Yeah, we got to build it back up. Oh, by the way, Jack Smith live next Thursday. What's that date, girlfriend?
Next Thursday is what, the 21st?
Jack Smith live next Thursday on the 22nd.
Are you going to, oh yeah, the 22nd. Are you going to be channeling him?
No.
Or he's going to be live on TV?
He's going to be live. He's going to be talking out loud. 10 a.m. Pacific Eastern time. So that's 7 a.m. my time. Good. I'm up by then. I'll have my coffee. I'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm sending over a whole load of Subway sandwiches.
Oh, I love it. How do you help people tell the difference between intuition and fear? Like when they're feeling into this stuff and they think, oh, this is going to happen, but it's fear-based.
Well, if it's fear-based, it's not intuition.
Yeah.
Because when I get a hit, when something's going on and you want to jump into the fear,
Right.
but you have to breathe and you have to calm yourself down and then ask the realm the question and then wait for the answer.
Where do you feel it? Like I feel it in my heart when I do that.
Yeah, that's where I usually feel it too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love those 3 breaths. It's such a big deal.
That's Eckhart Tolle, the Tao. He says if you breathe 3 deep breaths a day, you don't have to sit and go or anything like that. You don't need to meditate. Just do the 3 deep breaths. He said, because when you do these breaths, when you breathe in real strong and breathe out, what it does is it puts you in the present. You're conscious. You were walking around unconscious. Suddenly you're truly conscious because you get that high when you're connected. That's where you're going. And vibrationally, it changes you every time. So when I first started reading his books, I practiced this 3 breaths. Doesn't matter what time of day, doesn't have to be the same time of day. And I think within 3 or 4 months, I started noticing things were changing for me. You got to be kind of careful what you wish for because it'll come true. Except I still haven't gotten my guide knocking at my door yet.
Which one is that? Gerard?
Gerard Butler.
Yeah. I love it. He's still present. He's amazing.
Pray for anything. Pray for other people. But you cannot pray. I have to tell my women's all the time, you cannot pray for another person to love you. That's free will. So, you can say, please, dear God, let them love me, let them love me. You can't pray for another person because that's interrupting with their free will. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't happen, it's because it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
And that's why I said I was on that real cool Emilio show.
I love him. Yeah, you were amazing on there.
He's so cool.
Yeah.
And he said, what's the one thing you want to tell everybody? And I know it probably sounded like a Debbie Downer, but I said, never depend on another human being. And unfortunately, that's how it is. Now, if you're a child, you have to depend on your mom or your dad. But you can never know what the future holds. So always be grounded within yourself. Always be connected to the space because they protect you, even prevent things from happening. But it's so sad when I don't read anymore, you guys. It was so sad when I used to read and, you had people who just couldn't move on because the loss of a husband or a child and then you can see them just happy as can be in the realm. And it's bothersome to them that you won't let it go. So, you're not supposed to be happy that you lost. You have to mourn. There's that period of mourning, but know that, because you can be in a relationship 1 minute and then get hit by a car the next day. It's a terrible thing to say. Always depend on yourself. Never depend on anyone else. And a lot of people do head trips about that, like me, even back when I was younger. You expect people to be able to read your mind and do what you thought they needed to do. I could be quite the bully in relationships.
Interesting. I was just going to say a lot of women have a hard time with their throat chakra and speaking their truth.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't have any hard time with speaking my truth.
I love that.
And swearing like a sailor. It's so funny. I was raised in a house that you could not swear. My dad did not appreciate swearing in front of my mother, especially. And then I married my first husband who was in the Navy. He swore like a pig. F this, F that. And before you know it, I'm swearing. And I never swore, but I was F this and F that, drinking Miller's beer out in the backwoods, shooting guns. And I was one of the boys. And, but when I was around my folks, it was automatic. And my first husband knew better than to swear in front of my mother. So it was automatic. I don't know how we managed, but a swear word never left our mouths.
Wow. And what about today? How do you feel about swearing? The energy of it.
I'll swear now, but I swear, at the TV.
Yeah, ditto.
You know that finger motion that Trump did at the Ford? I did more than that.
Wow.
That motion, I said, oh, here, buddy, eat this. Got some of my doggy poo-poo out, rest to go.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's every once in a while you feel like you need to let something out, some energy out, and not stuff it.
But let me tell you this, and the guy just said this to me, which is interesting. He said this. What I want to emphasize to everybody is, what do you got to lose? Where else can you go? This is terrible times right now. And if there's anything that can help you, it's this. Standing in your realm, planting your feet on the ground, doing the breathing, try not to get tied up into all the drama. Because, I still watch the news on and off because I do a program and I want to be able to talk to people, but you guys don't have to go through that. And so they said, what do you have to lose? People will say, yeah, I'm going to try that. And then 2 days later, they're back thinking the things and the worries and their life. You will notice, I'm going to tell you something. Some people say I have luck now, but what it is my connection to source. Because what happens is mostly I'm not having any bad luck because vibrationally, I'm not in that realm. People always seem to have something to happen. If you worry about money, sure enough, guess what? Money, more lack of money. You have to be careful where you think. You have abundance in this world. You don't have to be delusional, but thank them. Always thank the universe for what you have. I thanked them for my breast cancer because that was the beginning of my new beginning. Thank them for everything, and you will notice. And then things will start coming in your head, which is weird. I am hearing and seeing things like I was back in time of things that I did wrong when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like a relationship. Perhaps I was not very kind to the person or had an ex and really went out of my way to try to destroy him like she-devil. I was bad. How dare you? Nobody's going to get rid of me. And, but I always ended up miserable. I always ended up worse than I was. So when I started practicing this, and when you let it go, you realize there's always a reason for things to happen. Then you'll notice all of a sudden things just start working out.
So going into that, being thankful for everything, that really does change everything, doesn't it?
Grace.
Yeah.
And be truthful with yourself as best as you can. The Catholics, although I can't tell, my parents were atheists. I can't tell you that I'm 100% pro-Catholic, but I will tell you they have that interesting thing about confessions.
Huge.
It's actually pretty decent because if you confess, not to a priest, but psychically to yourself, and look at the truth of something and ask for forgiveness, you would be surprised. A lot of the karma you carry, you can drop it before you even get to the other side if you're truthful in this realm and allow them to work through you to clear that out.
That's beautiful.
It's just when you kill your ex-husband, sometimes they're not that.
There is that, isn't there?
Sometimes they're just not on board for that. But anyway.
Yeah. So how do we do that? How do we get to that spot, like with an ex-husband or past husband even?
And then oh my God, I read so many women and men who were treated just horribly. People are so cruel. And this is where I'm telling you guys, never depend on anyone but yourself, because I don't care what words come out of somebody's mouth. Sometimes you'll be surprised how underhanded, if you believe all this, You live to hear this stuff, and then they turn around and do something horrific or have an affair, and it's it's terrible. And
Yeah.
so you can't believe, you know what? Because you had the idea in your head what you thought they were, but they turned out to be someone different. The best thing that happens to me, I haven't had anything like this happen in a long time. But when something doesn't work out, the best thing that I always say is, obviously that wasn't meant to be. Something better is coming up. So it's pretty cool.
I love that. I love that. I feel like all this energy out there, and it's so easy to go into fear, especially when you have those old stories that you're rotating through your head.
I will just sit there minding my business, and I can feel it, taste it, smell it. Something that happened years ago, even things that were mean towards me. And I can feel that, and I release it. I hand it over. I thank them for the experience and send it on its way.
So they say that we're getting rid of you're the snake. We're going out of it.
I didn't even know we were in the snake, and I'm a snake.
Are you really?
What is it about snake?
Oh, snakes are so powerful, Linda. That's
this was
amazing.
a pretty good year for me. So
yeah, snakes are so very powerful. I just did a show with Dr. Gail about them, and the snake people, and it's like the Kundalini energy. Really, really powerful energy, but also they're the witnesses. They kind of coil up and watch everybody and don't get tied to any outcomes, and they don't pounce. They wait, and they help people through, just like you're helping so many people here on YouTube. They help people through different, you can call them wormholes, you can call them gateways, you can call them dimensions, but that's what they do. They really guide people through places.
Well, my ability to read the other side is, come on. I remember reading a girl across the street from me. She was renting a place from the gal I used to babysit, her daughter. And I was dabbling in readings, and she wanted me to read her mother. And she gave me a piece of jewelry, and I'm sitting there, and she had a picture of her mother. And all of a sudden I saw the mother, a hand on the mother's face, pushing her back into the wall in the shower. And then she went down, and he drowned her. And she said, do you know that everyone suspected my stepfather killed her, but he had been a cop or something and knew everybody? But he had killed her. I saw it as clear as day. He had killed her. Oh, they blamed it on a grand mal seizure or something. But I saw it. I saw it. So then I realized, oh, you can talk to the dead. So then slowly but surely. And the cool thing about talking to those on the other side, like that tall, big motorcycle guy, when his mom was in front of me sobbing, and he walked through that wall, he was beautiful with beautiful blue eyes. And he said to me, would you tell her I'm more alive now than when I had a body?
So beautiful.
Profound. And a lot of them say that to me. They can even get irritated if you keep holding on, because what you're doing is you're thinking of yourself. You're not thinking of them. A lot of people don't have faith that their loved ones are in a place much better than where they were here on earth. It's very hard for me to get too sad about somebody in their 80s or 90s dying, because they're ready to transition. It's beautiful over there. The sadness is the younger ones when they go.
It really is, isn't it?
They come through really strong.
Yeah. So do you have any favorites that come through? Like I'm talking about like Robin Williams or Prince. Or
Robin Williams is still sort of stuck over there. He's doing good, but he's not easy to talk to. President John F. Kennedy is one of my favorites, and Franklin D. Roosevelt. Even his wife Eleanor is cool to talk to.
I've seen you channel both of them when they come in. Yeah, that's
Robert
always really
cool, but he was a genius, and he was clinically off because the information just kept coming to him. He couldn't sit still. Now, mind you, I've worked with Robin Williams. I knew him,
Really?
And it was, let me tell you, when I worked in 1984, he was the shyest, quietest guy in the world.
Oh.
And I mentioned this to Sterling. Sterling knew him too. And he said, no, he loved to put on the, yeah, he did. But I'm telling you guys, he was shy. He was quiet. He wanted to just love. He loved his family. He loved, I once hooked up, him and I were in line and he was with that wife, the babysitter.
Yeah.
By the way, she wasn't a nice person.
Oh.
But anyway, he was standing in line and I said, oh, Robin, how are you? I'm Linda from the, oh, what a night show, the Democratic opening convention. And he said hi and stuff, but we were in line to see Love Letters with his Christopher Reeve.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher Reeve. I don't think I've talked to him, but he was a beautiful energy.
Oh, talk about gorgeous.
Yeah. That was a good story. Well, did you hear about the absolute love fest he had with Jane Seymour making that movie?
What? No.
They were like a couple. They flew everywhere.
Oh.
And I think he was getting ready to tell his girlfriend in the UK that he, to call it off so he could be with Jane. That's when she announced she was pregnant.
Oh.
And she said he came in her room and said, she's pregnant. And, everything changed. She suffered. But it looks like it's better that she didn't end up with him. So,
yeah. Wow. Something happens for a reason. So I love that, the big 3 breaths, and then talking about grounding, like grounding to the world or the planet. Do you feel like the 3 breaths help with that, or do you recommend walking barefoot and
putting your bare feet on the ground is fantastic. Talking to the ETs too. They're out there. They're everywhere. Remember that ET that came to me and he announced himself and he was just as friendly as can be. And he said, we're not here to interfere with free will. They always say that. But you guys aren't treating the earth very well.
I love that. And you got to see them too when you were out.
I could see his face. I could see who he was. But there's different types, I guess. I don't know. I don't deal into the ET as strongly. I was sort of interested and I went in there, but they're everywhere. They're in the ground. They're everywhere. They're watching us. And they will make sure that no one puts out a nuke.
Yeah. I love their energy when they come in. And
have you had dreams lately about the end of somebody like Trump or Netanyahu or?
I feel like there's going to be, I've been having these wild dreams where all this water is coming in.
That's the soul. That's the spirit.
Yeah.
That's the cleansing.
Yeah. And it's all this water is coming in and we're all moving. Like many of us are moving. So I don't know if that's a spiritual move or if that's a physical move, but I do feel like people will start moving in the next 6 months or the next year.
Yeah, it's within 6 months things are happening. My daughter wrote and said she had a dream last night that Netanyahu was taken out.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, girlfriend.
Huh?
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I can't imagine what happened there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm dumbfounded. And
your room looks like some sort of Egyptian council. I mean, did you have a past life as an Egyptian or something?
Yeah. Yeah. I worked under the pyramids and the healing centers.
That's great.
So I still go there. They still show me to go there. But thanks. I've moved my my camera around the house and it doesn't work as well as in here. It's
that's where it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where they all come. So What has this spiritual mission given you, and what has it cost you?
Oh, it hasn't cost me a thing. It's given me everything. It hasn't cost me a thing.
I love that.
It cost the old Linda, which I don't care. I'm glad she's gone.
You look so happy, and you look so much younger and healthy and vital.
Well, I could lay off them chocolate cookies a little bit, but
Oh, don't say that.
I don't care. I'm 72 years old. You know, who am I out to impress?
Right?
I'm doing an event with Kevin Loving in Canada.
I saw that.
I said, Kevin, so what do you think? Do I get a full on bikini wax, or what do I get?
It's going to be, that place is amazing, you guys.
Have you been there before?
I have not been there before, but he sent me the pictures of it.
It's gorgeous.
It's stunning. It looks magical.
It looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing.
Oh my God. Can you believe we've already been on 50 minutes?
No, I can't at all. I can't at all.
It's 5 when we're having fun.
Right. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here, Linda.
Thank
This was
you.
such a treat. I really enjoyed it.
If I didn't have to do prayers, my daughter's waiting on me. I would.
Oh, okay. I'll let you go. Well, everybody, thank you all for being here, and we'll see y'all later. Thanks, Linda.
Sure. Thank you, guys.
Bye.